This video goes over the two very basic concepts of training a dog. The first concept is that you've got to decide what you do want your dog to do. In other words, make a list of the desirable behaviors you want your dog to do. Then, once you know what you want your dog to do, you can train your dog to do them using positive reinforcement, and you can reinforce your dog for doing behaviors you like that he already does. So for example, if your dog is laying at your feet while you're watching TV and you think that's a wonderful behavior, you can reinforce it by giving your dog attention, playing with toys, or giving him a treat while he's calmly settled at your feet. So the second basic concept to training a dog is deciding what you don't want your dog to do. So in other words, deciding what you find undesirable behavior. This will be different for different people. For example, sitting on the couch. Some people would love their dog to sit on the couch. Other people say, nope, that's an undesirable behavior for me. So once you've made that list, you've got to be consistent with it. To train your dog to not do these undesirable behaviors, you train an alternate response. So for example, with the couch scenario, if you don't want your dog sitting in the couch, you can train your dog to love laying in his dog bed. Other things you have to do to stop undesirable behaviors from being reinforced is interrupt them. So if you see an undesirable behavior happening, it's most likely going to be self-reinforcing. So you've got to interrupt that behavior. And a way to do that is using a positive interrupter noise, and I'll link a video tutorial up here. So along with interrupting undesirable behaviors, you've also got to use management to prevent them from occurring when you don't feel like training or when you're not home. An example of this, of management, would be inviting guests over, but because you don't feel like training your dog, you're just going to have your dog on leash. That way your dog isn't being reinforced for jumping on the guests, and then when the dog is calm enough, he can say hi to the guests and be more likely to succeed.
1. Decide what you do want your dog to do. Make a list of the behaviors that you find desirable. 2. Train the dog to do the behaviors you like, as well as reinforce your dog for the desirable behaviors he does already. 3. Decide what you don't want your dog to do. Make a list of all the behaviors that you find undesirable. 4. Train an alternate response. For example, train your dog to sit or stand calmly instead of jumping on guests. Interrupt your dog when he is doing an undesirable behavior using the positive interrupter, and prevent your dog from doing the behavior when you are not going to be able to train your dog. Stay tuned for a tutorial on how to stop attention-seeking behaviors. Don't forget to subscribe to channel Kikopup.